Leslie, Jeremy, a pleasure to be speaking with you both. Aside from having to deal with me today, how's the day going so far?
Great. The sun's out. It's Wednesday. I don't know what else to say.
Same answer, you, Jeremy?
No, there's no sun. I don't know when I moved to Seattle. I swear to God, LA has been just cloudy, miserable. I don't know what's going on.
Jeremy, I noticed the middle initial is missing from your Zoom name. Is that an error, or do you like to be called Jeremy S. Evans most times in most instances?
Just Jeremy Evans or Hey You, that guy. Anything works, man. That was just for IMDb. There's so many Jeremy Evanses. My name's not sexy. So
It happens. There's no middle initial for you, Leslie?
No, yeah, I mean, there's not too many Leslie Wongs, believe it or not. Maybe not in the acting world. There's tons in the world. I mean, they're probably all related to me, but it's hard to keep track.
Well, Leslie, how much of you is there in the character that you play in Andy Somebody?
Well, Jeremy and Jesse who wrote the script, obviously, they know me pretty well. I mean, Jesse and I, we've been good friends for so long, I can't even tell you. And he kind of, when they wrote the role, they thought about me and put a lot of the attitude of it into the character. Cause, I think that, the best way to act is obviously being yourself and just, taking from your own experiences. And I think not that I've ever, kept a friend, in my house from the law, but like things like hiding secrets from people and being kind of the more sensible person, the rational person in a relationship, that seems to be me for sure.
Well, something, Leslie, you have in common with Jeremy is you were both behind the camera, not just on camera. So, Jeremy, when you were writing the script, did you know that you wanted to be the focal point, the lead in this film?
yeah, I got a pilot shut down. I had a pilot at CBS and COVID started creeping in and they said we're keeping all our in-house projects. So after that heartbreak, I called Jesse and I was like, hey man, I'm broke. I have no money. I spent money that I thought was coming. And I said, we got to write a feature. We got to do something. Let me borrow $40 and then let's go to the bar and have a couple drinks and let's figure out a script. And just kind of went from there.
Leslie, did you know all that coming into this film? That, hey, this film originated from desperate measures. Of course, we're very happy with the end result of it, but that is not the most encouraging start to a project I've ever heard for, again, something that's awesome and recommended by yours truly.
Well, I mean, knowing Jeremy and Jesse and, and being so close to them, I kind of knew something was up. They were like, oh, we're writing. And I'm like, okay, you guys keep writing, and when they came up with the idea, I was just kind of like, okay, I think that we can do this. Like, this is an idea that we can actually run with. So yeah, I mean, I didn't have um I had all kinds of expectations, but it ended up being, more than I could have asked for sure. In a role, as producing partners, everything, like it just was one of the best experiences I've had.
Jeremy, what you just said about the $40 at the bar, is that $40 for two people or $40 for one person?
No,
And if
it's
so, that has to be a dive bar for $40.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, we ended up, when I say we, I mean Jesse, we ended up spending a lot more than that. I was just on my I was just on my butt, man. I was like, we got to do something, and I want to, when you have a pilot that's going, we got all the way to the finish line, and then Queen Latifah says, no, 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 my pilot's going and not you. Uh, you just have to you've got to move on. Like I said, man, I did the rookie mistake of spending money I didn't have.
Yeah.
Because that was my pilot. I was an executive producer on that, and so yeah, it was definitely a lot of desperation, and we knew we were going to bring Leslie in, everybody on the team, and I knew I could bring some of my people in. So we were like, okay, let's cater roles to people so we can just do something, that doesn't cost a lot, and cost a lot, but Hollywood parlance, we can't do a $1 billion film. We're not a Marvel thing. So let's do something people in rooms and, just create our own gunpowder. Like, I was in a horrible place when CBS called and said,
Sure.
we're done. That happened. I'll never forget. It happened on a Friday, and I was like, I went to the, I went to the store and was like, give me all the alcohol, please. And so yeah. So this was born out of like, let's not let, for me at least, let's not let the Hollywood system shut us down.
Right.
And then COVID happens, and we, Leslie can talk about this. We shot this thing. What was it? 4 years.
Yeah. Well, and
Oh,
also I had two babies in those 4 years.
yeah.
Like, so we had COVID and then I had kids. So we were like, all right, we got to stop production because Leslie went to the hospital, but let's keep going, things like that. So yeah, a lot of things happened in the 4 years that we were putting it together. And yeah, it was a really interesting experience for sure.
Was all of the film filmed in LA and the surrounding areas?
No, we actually shot a bunch of stuff in Chicago. You'll see there's some fun shots of Jeremy running around Chicago. And we actually shot some of the stuff in the Bay Area because that's currently where I am now. So we did do some pickup shots in the Bay Area as well.
The reason I had to ask where things are shot is one of my favorite shows of the past few years, Atlanta. There's a scene or two where they go to New York for the day, and it's really Atlanta. And then Single Drunk Female, which is about a girl moving back to her family home in Boston, was filmed in Chicago and Atlanta. So these days, you never know. There's stuff that's filmed in Tokyo that's really LA. There's stuff that's in Las Vegas that's really in New Mexico. So when I see him walking around Chicago, I don't know if that's really Chicago, although he does have the Cubs hat on. And you just showed me a Cubs mug, was it?
Yeah, listen, man, I hugged the Harry Carey statue right outside Wrigley Field. We went to Chicago, watched a game. We filmed me just a montage scene of me running around the city after I steal the money. So we shot in 3 cities: LA, San Francisco, and Chicago. Authentic.
The three of the 4 most expensive cities in the US to legitimately shoot in, yet it sounds like you pulled some favors.
Oh yeah. We didn't tell anybody. We went to Chicago and we're like, all right, you ready? Let's go. We had 2 guys, one guy holding the camera, one guy holding a boom mic. That was it.
So, any blowback from the plastic surgery industry as a result of this film?
No, we haven't heard any. We haven't gotten any yet. I think that we kept it pretty low key on the plastic surgery side. Our villain, I guess we can call him a villain. He was, we were trying to show the darker side of plastic surgery, but it wasn't actually plastic surgery that he was performing that was the dark side. So I think we're okay. What do you think, Jer?
I think we were like, what's a business that hasn't been shown? And when you typically think of a bad guy, where would he work? Plastic surgeon. I think we nailed it. We just want to have, and we got a great actor. Jonathan Buckley came on. He's a transplant. He was from Australia, so we thought it'd be great if he just kept the Australian accent. He works in the North Shore in Chicago. Pretentious guy, evil. He's into so many other things, kind of keeping that Breaking Bad sort of thing. He's running drugs. He's basically a mafia guy, just doing
a jerk.
Yeah, just horrible person. Horrible person.
Just, misogynistic, horrible person.
Right. Now, before I ask my last question about what you both are working on, because this is a new movie to us, the civilians, but it is an old movie to both of you, and you're clearly both creative people who like to do stuff. So before we get there, you just mentioned, the money laundering lawyer end of it. Did anyone really know what money laundering was before Breaking Bad? Like, did the average civilian know what it was? Because now it seems to be a premise in just about every thriller out there.
Well, glad we could be different. One of the funny things is we have a computer scene where it's like I'm digitally stealing all the money, and we're like, what the hell does that look like? I've never done, So we're like, no, we'll take care of that, and we'll take care of that in post. But we wanted to steal money physically, and we wanted to steal all his money digitally. Yeah. So
your money theft reminded me of the Office Space money theft.
Yeah, I mean, Office Space that's a great connection to what we were. We're in the office a lot. I think we had a bunch of locations, but yeah, we're in the office a lot, and I gotta crawl out of there because I took the money, and he's got a patient that he's working on and absolutely manipulating. So we found a Marissa Hart, who's just one of the most beautiful women you'll ever see in your life, and he's telling her basically the exact opposite. Like, oh, you'll never get married. You look terrible. But I mean, look at your face. It's full of garbage. I can't look at you. And she's, you just want to hate this guy. He's everything you've ever hated.
But to answer your question, no, I don't think any of us knew what money laundering was before Breaking Bad. I mean, we'd heard about it, and I think for a long time, I literally thought it was just laundry and money.
Yeah.
So
And now it's
like,
every single premise ever, and the characters are all talking about it like they know what money laundering is. I don't know anyone who launders money in my everyday life, but at least
yeah, I don't think I do either. I don't know.
We started shooting this like 100 years ago, so it was new back then.
Yeah, it's true.
You were ahead of the pack. Well, that last promise question, Leslie, are you allowed to say what's coming next for you as an actor and or producer?
I can say that we have a few scripts that we're actually in pre-production on right now. One is a horror film that Jesse also co-wrote with another friend of ours, and yeah, I think I will say it's creepy and it's fun. I think it brings in a little bit of technology as well, which I don't think we see a ton of yet, but I think like a lot of horror films are starting to like bring in more of these cell phones and things like that. So
Right.
yeah, I think that I could say that, and then we have other projects too. Like we have a little YouTube show called Pinbusters TV, which I'm the host of, but and just continue to do the grind, the auditions and all that fun stuff. And being a mom, I'm a mom now, so that's a production every day, every
Just
day.
just the little, keeping two things alive and
Oh yeah, that's probably that's at the end of the day, if they're breathing, I'm good. Mission accomplished.
pragmatic way of looking at things. And Jeremy, are you allowed to say what's next, or are you under NDAs and the pilot system and all that?
No, I have the pilot that got busted at CBS. It's now over at Fox.
Great.
So I can talk about that. It's we'll see what happens here in the next couple months. And the other thing that I really want to talk, I'm really excited about is another script I wrote. I'm going to play a lead role in. I'm going to direct. Be my first directorial debut. It's called The Legacy. We're going to shoot that in Illinois. It's about a guy that through the interception in the high school football game can't get over it, and he's got to run his dad's sports bobblehead doll shop, and he's just terrible. He can't touch a football. I'm working on trying to get Hall of Fame coach Mike Ditka to do a cameo to scream at me. Him or Jim McMahon, we're working on some guys to come in. So I'm really, really excited about that. And we're going to start filming actually in September.
Can I give you a free reference that should be in that, and I don't want a producer credit?
No, bring it. Let's hear it.
Can there be a reenactment of the Super Bowl shuffle?
You know what? We actually thought about that for end credits. So I'm going to tip my cap there because it is the worst video I've ever. It's so perfect.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no, worst meaning great. It is fantastically
Have
bad.
you ever seen the other NFL teams that did rap videos because of the success of the Super Bowl shuffle?
It's iconic, but I mean, when you watch that, it hurts. It is cringeworthy, but in the best way. You got athletes trying to dance, and all they do is shuffle.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody, Deion Sanders had an album, and some of his videos were
Prime time. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not even the worst. My homework to you, Jeremy, for later today. And I don't know if this is necessarily the worst one. Ram It, featuring the Los Angeles Rams of, I think, 88.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
After you watch this one,
okay,
let me know if the Super Bowl shuffle's the worst one.
I'll do it. I just mean worst. It's so perfectly 80s. It's just the greatest. They got sunglasses on. The smoke machine's way too hot. It's fantastic. But yeah, I think I'd like to reenact something like that. That's a great idea.
Well, I am excited that both of you turned around what would have stalled most people and got them out of entertainment, a lost pilot deal, and turn it into a very funny movie. And on the back of that, have more things that we can look forward to from both of you. So thank you for your time and looking forward to what's next.
All right, man. April 18 on Apple TV.
Paltrocast.